Hey crew, I've got the key to this 25 Mercedes-Benz G580 with EQ technology. And today we're gonna see what it's like to live with. I'm gonna start by unplugging it from where I had it charging up overnight. And it does take about 13 hours via level 2 charger to fully replenish the battery. Now let's take a look at spacing in my driveway, which is 16 feet wide by 19.5 feet long. I've got the G parked right there at the edge, sitting next to a new Toyota Sienna that my wife is reviewing. If you want to check out her content, it's at Mobile Mama on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Oh, she's given me some extra space here because that back tire is hanging off just a little bit. Thank you, honey, so thoughtful. And with that room, there is ample space to walk between the vehicles, and when the G is locked up, the door mirrors do fold in. I could get a wagon or a double stroller through for our kiddos or trash cans on trash day. The front end of the EQG, how I want to refer to this vehicle, or even the GQ. It sounds so much better. Anyway, EQG is right there before the gutter at the front of my driveway, and at the back, that leaves plenty of room to walk in front of the hedge on the path to my front door. When first hopping in with the key fob in my pocket, I can finally say that I don't need to fish that fob out and hit the unlock button. I can just put my hand on the door handle. That'll unlock all 4 doors. Then pressing in on that door, opening it up. I'll wait until I'm in a parking lot, park next to someone, because this is probably more room than you would have. That's just one defined notch. I'll swing it on out to make my job of getting it easier. And to get in easier, there are some optional running boards equipped, but I wish there was a grab handle right here to get me in to the cabin. As is, I've got to grab this one here, and it's sort of a weird cross the body deal, but not too bad. I'm just complaining here. Closing up that door firmly. If you do not close it with all of your strength, it will not actually close. There we go. Hey cabin crew, thanks for joining for this day in the life in the 25 Mercedes-Benz, I'm just gonna call it EQG. And in this video, I wanna see what the plug life does to the notorious G. I thought about that one for a sec. Okay, let's fire it up. And yes, there is a start-stop button on this EV. And you might presume that an all-electric vehicle wouldn't make any noise when it's sitting here that idle. But let me show you the truth to that. There is a pretty mellow rumbling noise coming from some externally facing speaker on the G580. And while this is not anywhere near as loud as the G63's V8, it is still a noise. But your neighbors won't hear this in the morning, if it's very early or very late at night. They'll just hear that. A signature thwack of door close noise that is already separating this EV from pretty much every other one. All right, before we get rolling here, let me show you where I would stick the items I bring with me every day, like my smartphone, which is an iPhone 15 Pro. That is going to sit on this wireless charging pad. And then I've got the key fob here, which could stay in my pocket or it can just go in one of these cup holders. Inside the console, I did manage to fit my 32-ounce metal water bottle. And alongside that, I've got my slimline wallet and sunglasses. I wish there was dedicated sunglass storage, but alas, at least parts of this center console are felt lined. Inside this door pocket, I managed to fit my GoPro accessory case and my RaceBox 0 to 60 timer. So I think the storage inside this electric G is terrific. Let me throw on my seatbelt here. Click this down into drive and roll on forward. Let's also flick those windshield wipers on once. And I do have the curb ramp set up to help with clearance, but come on, it's a G-wagon. We don't need help with that. I am also going to clear my neighbor's basketball hoops. This video is sponsored by WolfBox's Air Duster, which I'll use to clean the EQG after off-roading. With a near fully replenished battery, we're looking at 271 miles of estimated range from this vehicle. The EPA estimates full range at 239 miles, so that might be optimistic. We'll see how it holds up. But right now, I'm more concerned with my personal level of comfort. So let me put in some requests. Hey Mercedes,
How may I help you?
Please turn on driver's seat classic massage.
I'm switching on the massage for the driver's seat.
Turn on driver's seat heating.
Okay, I'm switching on the seat heating on the driver's seat.
Turn on steering wheel heating.
Okay, I'm switching on the steering wheel heating.
Lovely. Check, check, and check. I didn't have to lift a finger off the steering wheel, and I got all the best creature comforts going for me right now. In addition to just how comfortable these seats are. Without even the massage beginning, I feel relaxed because they've got plenty of adjustability, the shape, the padding, it all is supple and supportive. In addition to the perched up posture of a classic G-Wagon with the near vertical windshield that just feel so above, so in command of all other traffic. It's a great way to start your day. My butt's getting warm. There are, of course, some key differences to daily driving the electric G versus the gas-powered alternatives. First and foremost being the instantaneous power delivery. And when you have 579 horsepower and 859 pound-feet of torque delivered right off the bat, that is a different feeling than even the G63. This is a wildly quick vehicle, but it also weighs almost 7,000 pounds, and that's when the different levels of braking regeneration really come in handy. So right now I've got it on normal recuperation. It's just a very gradual slowing that happens. You can turn it off completely, but again, 7,000 pounds. And on a downhill, that's a lot that you're asking of the brakes, which respond reasonably well enough. But I prefer the strong recuperation setting because that slows you down quite a bit, but isn't quite the foot off the throttle, immediate slowing of maximum recuperation. This is a true one pedal drive. Now I'm going to turn my attention to some basics of daily driving. Things like the turn signal sound, which is kind of a sharp tapping noise. And it can be irritating if you're sitting at a light for a long time, so I do tend to switch that off. And now we're gonna do a turning radius test, which means the take turn. So I'm gonna hit that button here, pivot this bad boy right around without moving at all. No, not gonna do that. Not on the street, for a few different reasons. One, it would absolutely terrify anyone who pulled up right behind me because I'd be staring them in the face. Two, I do need to be in low range mode. And three, there's just too much grip here on the tarmac. You need to be off-road. It's terrible for the vehicle if you try to do it on the street. But don't worry, we will test it out later. So here we go. Normal turning radius test. Wheel is cranked. And we're coming around in an acceptably tight circle. Non-G turning radius, well, say that 5 times fast, is just okay. What is far more than just okay, as I've already alluded, is the acceleration in this electric G. So we're gonna do a real world 0 to 60 test next. And I've got my race box set up here because I wasn't getting any reception on the windshield. No way. I am in the sport drive mode, so I'm just putting my foot to the floor, had a little bit of tire spin, but then blasted to 60 in 4.32 seconds. Son of a G. That is quick! And now pulling myself out of sport mode, back to comfort, I want to talk about something else that transcends just okay. That is the ride quality. Even though we don't have the air ride suspension, we do have adaptive dampers. And boy, do they filter out the road blemishes. All these patches and potholes are barely felt inside the cabin. I'm just so relaxed. But am I stable when needing emergency panic steer? Yes. And full threshold braking. Oh my gosh. In those two situations, the electric G's heavy battery pack mounted down low gives it a feeling of safety and me a feeling of confidence. And even though those maneuvers already woke me up, I'm still gonna grab a cup of coffee here at True Brew. And I am gonna back on into this space here, so click that up to reverse. That prompts the high-res camera system. with lots of different views. They even have a 3D view, which I'm not going to use right now. Just the backup cam and the wide angle with trajectory lines to help me find the center of the space, and the bird's eye view as well. And as I get close, we have the parking sensors for proximity, and that'll do it. Let's go get coffee. All right, got my goods, and there is just so much room here between me and that parked car, so I just have to pretend that we are much closer together and I can only go one defined notch. Could I still get in easily with the side step and the boot scoot? Yes. So, decaf coffee here because, according to my body, caffeine is the enemy. And I also got a pesto panini. That's a solid 7. Panini. Well, presentation, that's going to be a 4. But taste, let's see about that. Good crunch. Nice flavor. Plenty of cheese. That's an 8. I am pleasantly satiated now. And I want to take this electric G off-road, which will take me on the highway for a while to get there, and therefore give me a chance to simulate a commute. I'm going to start with something that we already know, which is there passing power to the electric G enough to make a lane change at a moment's notice? I spot a gap, I put my foot down, I move over easily. And once more, gap, foot. I'm there, even on an uphill. And once I've settled into my cruising altitude, move back over one lane. That was in the comfort drive mode, by the way. That's just go. I want to listen to the cabin volume at this speed. All right, so good deal of wind noise, actually. And on that louder patch of road surface, I did hear some tire noise. We are on summer tires here. These aren't all seasons or all terrains. So I think the cabin volume is just a little bit higher than the almost $200,000 as tested might suggest it should be, but this is livable. I could still have a conversation with a fellow passenger up front. I would just need to raise my voice a bit to talk to the people in the back row. And if I was by myself, it wouldn't be so loud that I couldn't hear my own thoughts. On the highway, I do want to maintain momentum as well, so I'm going to turn off the energy recuperation, and so when my foot is off the throttle, I just carry forward. No slowing at all. Except for when you catch up to traffic, as I now have, which makes me thankful that this 25 model year G has adaptive cruise control, so I can set my speed and following distance and then not have to worry about the throttle or brake to maintain the gap to that Prius in front of me. This is a massive asset if your commute is going to be in traffic situations like this. You don't want to be worn down, fatigued by the stop and go. There is also steering assistance. It's not full-on hands-free highway driving. That would be very nice. But if I take my hands off the wheel for just a sec, you can see that it will maintain the center of the lane. So if you get distracted momentarily, you're not just going to depart your lane and run into someone else. Hopefully you're not that distracted. We can see it wants my hands back on the wheel, and I will oblige. And for whatever length of time you're going to commute, you may want to listen to some music. And this vehicle has the Burmester 3D sound system, which we can hear via the wireless Apple CarPlay, which is nicely responsive. Get those tunes going and use the volume dial down here to adjust. Looks to be about 50% right there. Let's go a little more, block out that outside noise. I like that bass. Break it up a bit more. Yes. A high fidelity sound system, clarity across the range, nice bass, highs and mids were well defined. That is going to satisfy ye audiophiles, and just anyone else who wants to block out all of that noise and just take a zen moment inside. I have found the dirt, so let's have some fun. I'm gonna switch into the trail drive mode here and make sure that I have the off-road cockpit pulled up just to make me feel legit before I send it away. And I'm looking to feel out the off-road compliance. On-road, the suspension was incredible, but now we've got the washboard surface, we've got bigger bumps and ruts, and the electric G is absorbing it all. This is incredible. It's so smooth. You'd think I was riding on a Fox remote reservoir suspension. Not for the travel, but for the absorption. It's insane. And the 4 electric motors make this thing so perky out here. As a reminder, I am on summer tires, so I don't have the grip of all terrains. I just have the force of acceleration, strong friction, and regen braking, along with the plantedness of the battery's low center of gravity. You can actually play with this 7,000-pound electric G off-road. I can drive it in a way I never could the top-heavy gas-powered versions of the Geländewagen. This is a wild comparison, but it genuinely feels a little like a rally car. The instant torque, the confidence, the plantedness. This is not a G-Wagon. None we've ever experienced before. It's so entertaining. Oh, look, some water. Well, it's a good thing the wade depth of the EQG is actually deeper than the gas-powered model. But if vectoring torque to all 4 tires and creating beautiful power slides isn't your thing, fear not, because that is just one tool in the electric G's kit. Because while we don't have the triple lockers anymore, you don't need diffs with an EV, we do retain a low range mode. And when you go into that mode, you unlock some really cool stuff. So first, let me go into the rock mode, which I do have to double confirm here. And then I'll do low range, and I've got to go into neutral briefly for that to change over. It has done so. Back into drive. And now, I mean, you already have instant torque the moment you get to the throttle, but the sensitivity feels much higher here in the low range and makes for ridiculously simple climbs of extremely steep ascents. Oh my gosh, I can't get over this. Easy. Now as I crest this hill, I can't see anything, so I'm going to pull up the camera system. I can also record my off-road drive, which is fun, and get a look over the top, seeing where I want my wheels to line up. I do have trajectory lines as well, and monitor my pitch as I descend. And in this low range mode, the moment I am off that throttle, it's like the max regen setting. It halts all forward progress, so there isn't any unintended sliding down the hill. This is, I just have to say it, this is clearly the best off-roading G-Wagon ever made. And it's on summer tires. I mean, give it some all-terrains. Watch what happens. Oh! I totally forgot. There's a wounded bobcat back there that I was gonna take to animal rescue. Gotta turn this around. There's barely any room on either side. G-turn. I can use G-turn here. Hit this button, then hold onto the wheel, pull the paddle in the direction I want to go. Don't turn the wheel at all. Just use the throttle to... Oh my gosh. That was amazing. I'm coming, wounded B for Bobcat. Bobcat, I'm coming. Don't give up on me. Got there in time. I saved that poor dog's life. I know, I'm a hero. But really the hero in this story is this EQG. G with the EQ technology and the G-turn. This is one of the coolest things I've ever done in a vehicle. It's so surreal to hold onto the wheel, pull a paddle, and just pivot in the same spot. That's outrageous. Even if you didn't like off-roading, which why would you ever buy this? But you would get into off-roading just to try that. Ba-ba-da, da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. Yikes. Looks like I brought some of yesterday's off-roading home with me. Gotta clean up this G-Wagon before I take the family out later. This is actually a perfect job for this WolfBox Air Duster. I'm gonna use the Mega Flow 100 to blow away all this dirt after I remove the mats. It's actually crazy that something weighing less than a pound can generate 70 cubic feet of air per minute at wind speeds of over 185 miles per hour. It's not just max power all the time, too. There are 3 different gears. 150,000 RPM can dial down to 80,000 or just 30,000. And with the first 2 gears, you just hit the trigger once and it blows. The 3rd gear, you have precise control. It stops the moment you release the trigger. Get out of here. And I mostly leave this main nozzle on, but you actually have 5 options, including one that'll inflate an air mattress. Oh, and 2 brushes, in case you want to get archaeological. This 6,000 milliamp hour battery will last 100 minutes, so you're not constantly having to recharge it. I might want to use a vacuum for the cup holders so I don't send the dust flying back into my own face. And this same company, WolfBox, sells a portable one. Much better. All tidied up for the family. Ooh, except for the exterior. Oh well. Anyway, right now this little guy is $100, and given all the applications, I even used it to clean debris out of my garage, I think it's money well spent. I'll put a link in my description if you want to pick one up. Before Mobile Mama hops in and gives me her 2 cents on this electric G, I need to visit a DC fast charging station because we are now down to 31% of remaining charge with an estimate of 70 miles of remaining range. If you add that to the 129 miles we've already traveled, that would be a total of 199 miles, which is less than now both the EPA estimate of 239 or the Mercedes original estimate of 277 miles when we first started filming this video. Now, if you were in the situation where you were on a road trip or whatever and you had to make it a little further to get to a fast charging station, you could go into the EQ screen and then hit this maximum range. But when you do that, be prepared because it is going to turn off anything not essential to driving. So that means AC and even the infotainment screen. That's now gone. It just pops up when I go into reverse. So you'll make it, but you may not be as comfortable. All right, pop this open, take off the fast charging cover, retrieve, and plug in. Unfortunately, should have checked this before, this is the reality of charging infrastructure in this current state. These stations are all down, so gotta go find new ones. Let's try Electrify America. They're bound to have something. Nope. Looks like all the charging stations are occupied. And it looks like someone's waiting. What a surprise. This happens every single time. It's a good thing I'm not completely out of juice. So it's back home to charge, Electric G. Look who it is!
Hi.
Mobile Mama. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to the back
Thank you.
of the Electric G. What do you think?
I was excited to check it out because I haven't been in one before.
That's right. Not a lot of people have.
But I feel a bit claustrophobic.
Yes, the screen, it does jut out in the face. There are benefits, though. Feeling
Nice
like more of
detail.
a bigger experience. Usually screens are far away. This one's like right here, and it's got a lot going on. It's basically a secondary infotainment.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Okay, that is cool.
What do we think of the seats?
I like the leather. It's very nice. The seats are heated.
Supple.
That's
Yes.
good. Ooh, Alcantara up top.
Yes. Always a nice
Okay.
touch. And the roof feels so high. I just feel like I have a lot of space here.
Right.
My knees aren't touching the back of the seat. This is my seat at 6 feet. And I've got foot pocket room, thigh support. Excellent.
And you got your third zone of climate control,
Yes.
2 USB-Cs and HDMI.
Yes. And
Nice.
your favorite, air vents.
Yes.
Air vents in the center
But
and
more-
air vents on the side.
More on the side, which is
Yes,
key.
that's what you love. Okay, should we see if car seats fit with these giant jutting screens?
Well, we can try.
All right, let's get the forward-facing bad boy in there. Old twisteroonie, and that looks good. Oh,
I'm not even going to try.
you're gonna have to move that seat forward a lot.
Yes.
So how was that install after all?
Well, I did have to move this seat as far forward as possible and then
Yep.
just inch it back. Not
A
even
little
an
bit.
inch.
No.
I don't even think an inch.
Yeah.
Centimeters.
You did have some breathing room thanks to the tilting screen though.
Right.
And for me, that was a very simple install. And Talia is gonna have plenty of leg room and she's gonna love that screen. And I didn't have to move my seat at all. You,
Oh,
ooh, less of an ideal situation.
yes.
Knees are in the dashboard.
Right.
And back angle, how's that?
Not great.
Little upright.
Yeah.
So I think, what, don't get the rear-facing screens if
No.
you have rear-facing car seats. But I think we can say it still. The electric G is family approved without some options. We are gonna go grab my older daughter from school, but I do want to bring our wagon and some kids' toys for the park that we're going to, and that means utilizing this cargo area. I may take out this cargo cover just for a little extra room, and it's super simple to install and uninstall that. Okay, got our wide veer wagon in here. That's a perfect fit, and these trikes can just go right on top. Okay. I didn't know they kept chalk in there. Ah, that's better. Oh, and by the way, this swing out doesn't feel nearly as difficult to open or close as the gas-powered Gs that have a full-size spare tire, something that's heavier. This is just a cargo holder, a small one, that has the charging cables. All right, Tali, you ready for a ride in the G? Yeah. Okay, can you get up on the running board? Good. Now, can you squeeze back there with that screen like that? Talking in gibberish language? You did it, Tali. Good job. Important test. Mobile Mama does fit between two car seats in the middle back seat. She's there to help attend to our older daughter and help her figure out the screen. Is there anything fun to do back there?
There's a game of shuffle puck.
Shuffle puck.
Shuffle puck.
Never have I ever played shuffle puck.
What? It's kind of fun.
While those two figure out shuffle puck, I thought it was worth mentioning that at the beginning of the video, I showed putting my 32-ounce water bottle in the console, but I didn't need to because these cup holders are so big up front that my water bottle just fits right in it. I didn't even think to test it because that's so rarely the case, but it's massively convenient. They've moved on to a Mercedes-Benz match game. I have to see what that looks like later. And I'll have Mobile Mama chime in a little bit as I discuss this, but I wanted to mention the front of the cabin feel because $192,000. I feel like my expectations are quite high. And it was good in the back seats with the heating. I wanted ventilation as well. Front seats, I discussed all the creature comforts. But in addition, you've got the high-tech screens, leather on every surface, carbon fiber trim with a blue tinge to it to match the blue stitched accents of the EQ trim. It just feels good. It feels right. But what do you think, Mobile Mama? Is it up to snuff?
I'm getting my hair played with at the moment, but the materials match the price.
I agree.
Ow. Ow. Can you be a little gentle?
Sorry.
Ow.
Hope
Not
your hair is
you.
intact. Oh, I know.
Pulling out.
I know. I'm sorry for you.
Oh.
I'm not pulling your hair.
I'm enjoying it.
Hey,
How may I
Mercedes,
help you?
can you put on my massaging? Yeah.
We have a problem, Mobile Mama. We have raised children who expect massages in every seat, even in their car seat. We made it to our hike, everyone.
Woo!
Get excited for nature
Julia.
and exercise. Just beautiful. Well, crew, at the beginning of this video, I pondered how a plug would change the G-Wagon's daily driving character. And after quality time spent beyond the wheel, I can share many ways in which it improves upon the classic rig's livability. Despite a low-volume, speaker-generated rumble and the notoriously loud latches, the otherwise quiet electric G is calming to drive and benefits from adjustable levels of regen braking up to a single pedal drive. Instant and prodigious motivation helps the G580 slice through traffic and zip away from stoplights. Better still, the battery's low center of gravity makes this electric G feel more stable and secure in emergency situations. But it's not all about safety. Weekend off-roading is a blast thanks to the 4-motor torque, planted dynamics, and effortless crawling capabilities. You can just G-turn to your heart's content. Charging is kind of a mixed bag, with at-home top-ups being more convenient than fuel stations, but public charging being significantly more troublesome. It's family-friendly with the right options, it's comfortable, and it's got plenty of utility. An electrified G-Wagon is, in fact, a very good thing. I hope you guys have enjoyed this day in the life, and I will see you again next time